is the very first time I'm attempting something like this, and if I mess this up and walk off the stage, all of you are going to pretend like I never walked up here. Uh, okay, having said that, that's my disclaimer. Exactly a year ago, I found myself sitting in front of this doctor's appointment room. And there are these people walking by, and they would give me these really strange looks. And it was because of two reasons, actually. One, because of the name on that door, on the doctor's door. And two, because of the way I looked. So I'll come back to the name on the door later. But the way I looked like a complete zombie. Like, my face was all swollen up, my eyes were blood red. I had this hair falling all over my face. And I sat there staring into the wall in front of me, and I could not blink my eyes. I just sat there. And it was my turn to go in. And my mom and my sister sort of helped me stand up. And I stood in front of that door, and I froze. Like, I couldn't take those 2 steps forward towards that door. And, that day I stood in front of the door, and I didn't know what was awaiting me beyond those doors. But I had no idea, I had no clue that those 2 steps I would ultimately take would change my life forever. So before this whole incident happened, I'll go back in time a little bit. And before this, about 2 years before the whole incident, I was repeating my entrance coaching at Brilliant Pala, okay? And all Malayalis know this, that Pala is supposed to be the mecca of all aspiring doctors and engineers. Yeah, some of them are nodding their heads. Yeah, so Pala would be like foreplay, you have to do it, and you have to do it right in order to get to the main event. So the girls in the room are all smiling. So one day I was supposed to travel to Pala, and I could not do it. Like, I could not get out of my house. I could not make myself do it. And that was the end of Pala for me. I stopped going to Pala. That was entrance coachings where that was it for me. And that was the beginning of a lot of dropping outs, but the first one. But so after this Pala incident, I sort of locked myself up in a room. I felt completely dejected. I could not eat, I could not sleep, I could not bath, like, I could not do any of my daily activities. I sat in that room feeling nothing but this immense urge to sort of kill myself or feeling worthless, all of that. After a while, like, I sat there like that, never getting out of the room for 6 months. Like, 6 months is it's a long time. Like, 6 months is half a year. And in 6 months, a lot of you guys can get into 2 relationships if you're lucky and get out of them. And yeah, so after 6 months, suddenly, one day, I was fine. I was just back to being myself. I was happy again. And I thought, okay, this was just a phase, and it had passed me by, and I'll be fine. But no, I got back to being in that room again, and again, and then again. It would last for months together. And every time I would be in that dark room, I would, the concept of love, life, relationships, time, all of that lost its meaning. It was all an alien idea to me. And, I don't know if I can explain this to you guys and sort of make you understand, but if I had to explain it, I would say, those movies you have where the lead would stand in a really busy street and everything around would move in a blur, but it was almost like that. I sat there and everything around me kept moving, and I was stagnant. My life would not move forward. And it is not that sad, actually, if you think about it. But, it's almost like racing against a time bomb. Because, if you guys have 365 days in your life, I would just have 70. If I'm really lucky, I would have 100. So, in one of those phases, when everything reaches peak, I try to kill myself. And I almost did. And that is how I ended up in front of that doctor's appointment room that I mentioned before. The name on the door read Senior Consulting Psychiatrist. So that day in that room, I was diagnosed with Type-2 Bipolar Disorder. And for those of you all who don't know what bipolar disorder is, it means, to the society, it obviously means that the girl has gone crazy because she consults a psychiatrist. But to the medical world, like I said, I was diagnosed with type 2 bipolar disorder. And I would not have the kind of time that you people have in life, because half the time I would be in that room. I would be like, I was good for nothing half the time. And like I said, what I take away is, it makes you sort of value life, because you don't have the kind of time that everybody does, and make you value the kind of time that you do have with your friends and your family. Today, this new year, I'm sort of coming out in ways, like coming out and telling the world that I am bipolar. Till today, only a very few friends and family knew about this. And today, you guys know, you're all in on my secret. To the society, I might be a wacko from today on. But, my mom the other day sat me down and asked me when I told her that I was going to say the story. She was like, do you really want to do it? Like, the world is going to know that you're bipolar, and, the world is going to be like, oh, she's a wacko, she's a nut job. But it's okay. Like, this is a really crazy world, and I'm happily crazy amongst you all. And thank you for listening to my story. Thank you.